It's been a little over a month since our last video where we actually found the corrosion inside the engine. We've now mailed out all the parts. The parts have come back. It's technically been about 6 weeks from the standpoint of where we did that. So the last video on the engine I showed you was what we found in the corrosion, the details around that corrosion. Now I'm going to show you where we're at in the stage of the engine build. We're going to talk to you about what parts we've got back in, what they look like, and I'll just show you around. The build process on this engine should start here within the next 2 to 3 days. So let's go take a look at what we found with all the new parts coming in so far. So we're back in the parts area where the case was at before. As you can see behind me, there's a couple more projects happening here since the last time we were in here. We've got this 206 coming in that's getting rebuilt, a couple other things that are happening in the shop. But we're going to take a look now at the crank that came back. We've got it wrapped up over here in plastic on the stand. Looks amazing. The beauty of this was we didn't have to grind that crank down, at least the shop that we sent this off to didn't have to do that, and they were able to actually polish that corrosion off, and so we didn't have to do any grinding on it, which means we don't have to do anything oversized in the bearing space. But let's take a look at that crank right now, and you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to take off the plastic, and you can see here everything on the crank looks really amazing. The detail on that, and of course down at the base, which is what we had before where the corrosion was happening, you can see that that's all completely cleaned up and looking really good. Okay, beyond that, we've got all the parts that have come in from Superior, and this is the box here with the parts in it. And of course we've got the new seals, new retainers, bearings that are in here to be done with. This is of course the old set. You can see here, keeping those around just because we want to be able to see if I can get this camera to line up here. The autofocus doesn't love me at the moment. At any rate, there's a part number on the back of those, on each of those, that we are compared to. Okay, so that wraps us up on the crankshaft. At least gives you good visibility into that. The parts box, and then over on the back you can see on that other shelf where we had the casing and the oil pan and the oil cooler. All that stuff's wrapped up in plastic right now. So let's go take a look at the camshaft and some of the other parts that we got back. So you can see here, camshaft's wrapped up, of course, but the new gears are here. The cam followers that we sent off have been redone. They're nice and clean, taken care of. Got the mag drive gears redone, and camshaft and tags. We also got back the connecting rods that were reconditioned, new bushings in them. This tag's just telling us we've got the bolts to replace on those, but it's all very good. Those look really good, and excited that they came back really clean. Okay, so let's go take a look at the cylinders. We'll take a look at them real quick. Inside of these are nickel plated, so they were ground down, re-nickeled, re-honed, then making them much stronger and much better for this rebuild.